What century are we in?
The 7th century.
The 7th century?
I actually don't know.
What year was the U.S. founded? What year was the U.S. founded, starting with you?
I don't know. It's one.
Guess.
1890 something. I don't know.
Who did the U.S. gain its independence from, starting with you?
From France?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it France? I don't know.
Girls think that they want to date a high value man until he starts calling you out for not taking responsibility, before he starts holding you accountable, before he has higher standards for you than you have for yourself. Everyone talks about, oh, date a high value man. This is what you do to have to attract a high value man. But I've never heard anyone talk about like actually dating a high value man takes a totally different kind of woman. It's not for the weak. I have other friends who are dating like very loving, very successful, perfectionist, ambitious men, and it is not for the weak.
The standard for men just got raised. I went on a date last night. He's gonna see this, and that's what makes it all the more funny. I'm going on a girls trip in like 2 weeks for my birthday, and he was like, oh, what are you doing for your birthday? And I was like, oh, nothing, I'm going on a girls trip. And he was like, give me your phone. Takes my phone, opens my Venmo, scans my Venmo thing, and Venmos me $300 with the caption, so men don't buy you drinks in Miami. That is literally insane, but why do I love it?
Absolutely pathetic. Beta male of the week goes to whatever guy sent her $300. And it's so funny because I know he's gonna see this. I hope you see this video too. You piece of shit. Fuck you. Traitor to man.
I don't think these modern women really understand the level of peace that a man receives when he stops messing with modern women. When he stops entertaining modern women. No longer is it, and we can even separate the dates, right? Oh, I gotta take you to this expensive restaurant. We can separate that. We can just talk about how you keep up mess every day for no reason. You're always getting into something that you have no business being in, talking about you're doing it for the plot, and I've got to listen to the nonsense when I could be thinking about making money, doing a hobby, enjoying a hobby, picking up another one. Which one do you think is more appealing?
Most men are deeply unattractive because of Mother Nature and something called the Great Scam. The Great Scam was the day that the male of the species convinced the female of the species that it no longer needed to prove itself worthy in order to reproduce and have babies, but the fact that the men are ugly says otherwise.
2025 Earth is not a real place. Because I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe the audacity that someone like that could be saying those words.
I cannot believe I'm answering this, but I've had no less than 20 people ask this same question over the last 48 hours. So here we go. If you get fat necrosis after a BBL, does it smell? The simple answer is maybe. So if you have fat necrosis, meaning that some of the fat that was grafted doesn't make it, and you don't have a wound, you are not going to smell anything. Things that are inside of your body, under intact or closed skin, do not smell, even if that tissue dies. But if the areas of fat necrosis get infected and you have an opening in the skin, yes, they absolutely can smell, and some infections can smell really bad. The type of bugs that infect fat in that area tend to be bugs that have more of an odor, and it's not a fun thing to go through as a patient. So open wounds in general, even if they're not infected, typically do have a smell, and it's not too bothersome in general. I'm a surgeon, I know I'm used to things, but in general, it's not bad unless there is an infection on top of it. So fat necrosis in itself is not why someone would smell unless they have an infection or an open wound. The one thing I'll add, and I can't believe I'm making a video about this, is that very, very large BBLs typically come along with some hygiene issues. It makes hygiene harder, and so sometimes that can be associated with a smell. So I don't know where all these comments are coming from. If there is a video or something going on TikTok that is leading to this, please tag me in it. I'd love to see.
And what you're seeing from a lot of these men, the men that women are calling or hoping to be chivalrous, the very men that they're saying, oh, he's not chivalrous, he's not a good man, he's not a gentleman, you don't know what you're talking about, quite frankly. A lot of brothers still know how to, be thoughtful, plan, and do all of these other things. It's just, first of all, you're disrespectful. Second of all, you're not really putting out anything that would make that man want to really get to know you. There ain't nothing to get to know. You're acting like a loser.
One of the highest honors that a man can bestow onto a woman is the title of wife. Not every woman wants to be a wife, but they cannot become wives on their own. Somebody needs to ask, right? Now, on the other side of that, one of the highest honors that women can bestow onto men is the title of father. Not every man wants to be a father, but they cannot become fathers on their own. Now that we understand that both of these things are of very high value, ladies, I'm going to need us to raise our standards, because I'm seeing a lot of kids and not a lot of engagement announcements. And that is never something I will advocate for, especially when that saga typically ends with you all coming online to complain to us that the father isn't doing enough, when in reality, he probably didn't want to become a father. And we know that he didn't want you to be his wife. So most of us don't want to hear it. Like, I don't. Y'all got to stop just trusting these men at their word that he said he was going to be around. If he really wanted to, he would have asked you to marry him. And we all know that, apparently, except for you.
I want a wife that will know exactly what to say when I'm broken and I'm confused and I'm up and I'm on the brink of destruction and I woke up to we're about to lose it all. And yet the covering of my wife and what she's saying and what she's praying over me gives me a level of reassurance that we're going to be okay when the whole world is crumbling in on me. Some of these want to get married. You don't even know what to say when I'm up. So you just hear. This dress ain't going to make me feel better. Your cleavage ain't going to get me through that I'm dealing with right now. The jiggle and the wiggle ain't going to fix none of this. The wiggle ain't going to pay the mortgage unless we go on OnlyFans. You want it because it looks good, but what do you do with it?
I don't have an OnlyFans.
What do you do with it once you have it? I can't wait to get married. Do you even know what it is?
No, that's good. That's good.
And y'all keep on thinking because a man is opted out of dating and just stopped dating, that the man is bitter, that the man just hates women, when it's really just a cost-benefit analysis. That's it. Am I getting what I put out? And if I have to look at myself and say, I need to do better, well, maybe I don't need to be dating at that point in time. So that's one way. But if I look at myself and I'm saying, okay, I've got a couple of places that I can improve, right? But, I'm kind of still looking. But when I look out there and I see maybe 2 or 3 things that I have to take care of versus you thinking that you're better than me, and you saying, well, you got 10 things to take care of and I have none. I have none to take care of. A man is going to look at that and be like, delusional. So she says, I have tons of things to take care of, but she has none. I'm self-aware. I know there's probably a handful of things that I could do better, but she's saying she ain't got nothing to improve on. She's not even standing there thinking about what she can improve on. It's time for me to go sit down somewhere.
A lot of us were raised by women who hate men. Women who had so much unresolved pain, bitterness, and trauma that they passed that hatred down. Nobody want to talk about it because it disrupts the narrative that women can do no wrong. But be honest, how many of y'all grew up hearing, don't depend on no man, all men are dogs, don't let no man play with you, men only want one thing? But not once did they tell you how to choose a good man. Not once did they tell you how to communicate with a man. Not once did they tell you that not all men are your enemy. The wild part about it is most of those women wasn't healing. They was projecting. They was recruiting you into their war against men that they started, that they lost, and that they never recovered from. Now whole generations of women is out here fighting battles that they never experienced, blaming men they never even met, getting into relationships already angry at somebody who isn't even in the room.
If you want to teach that man a lesson, leave quietly. Don't yell, don't scream, don't beg, don't start over explaining. Just remove your energy quickly and quietly. Because honestly, nothing confuses someone more than losing access to somebody they thought would always be there. A lot of people think the lesson is in the argument. It's not. The lesson is in the absence. The lesson is waking up one day and realizing you're no longer answering every text for them. You're no longer available every time they get lonely. You're no longer giving them chances they didn't earn. See, when someone gets used to you always being there, they stop appreciating your presence. It becomes normal, expected, something they assume they'll always have access to. And that's why begging rarely works. Explaining rarely works. Trying to convince someone of your real value rarely works, because people don't fully understand what they're holding on to until it's gone. Now, I'm not saying leave to make them miss you. That's not what I'm saying at all. Leave because you finally respect yourself enough to stop accepting less than what you deserve. Leave because you're tired of teaching people how to love you while they keep showing you they don't want to learn. And if they finally realize what they lost, that's their lesson. But your lesson is realizing you never had to stay where you weren't being valued in the first place.
You know, modern women continue to ask, well, why is it that men are opting out of dating? Well, you know, you try being drained of your money, your energy, your resources. Something always got to be expensive. You always got to take them to an expensive place. You try doing that type of stuff for multiple women and see if you like dating. You try paying $150 fee every single time you go out and see how old it's going to get fast. Even if a man has a date, one date a month, that's a $150 bill. That's a $150 bill. When the new game comes out, with $150, I could have bought that game and some of the DLC. I could have gone out with the boys, taken myself out. I could have put that money back towards a trip. I could have put that money in my investment account. There's so many things I could have done with that money besides spending on somebody that I know don't like me. That's how a lot of men are thinking now. It's not that you're a bad person. It's just that in a lot of these situations, I'm burning through my money and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
That's how they connect emotionally. We sit right there on the couch and we talk to each other face to face. Men don't do that. Men are most likely going to sit in a group or sit on the couch or wherever they are, and they'll sit kind of, to the side of each other, and they'll kind of grunt and nod and talk about different things, and it'll be short sentences and here and there. But by the end of the conversation, there will be an understanding of what's going on. If you need me, you got my number. Women don't connect like that. And I think she's going to have to understand that you're going to have to put a lot of effort into connecting with a man, and vice versa. It's not going to be all of this, just open up and be vulnerable and let's just talk and be friends and things of that nature. So he's going to have to compete on one side with having to just let her talk and talk and talk and talk. Number two, he's going to have to be very, very high class is not really the word that I'm looking for, but that's the only thing that I can think of that's really going to make her happy. Such is life for a lot of these modern women, right?
And, a lot of these men have moved on to greener pastures, if I can say it like that. They've moved on to better things. They've moved on to not chasing women around. And so you might be asking the question, or, I'd be wondering why a man is not willing to beg, right? And as a matter of fact, my wife and I just got through watching this show. I think it's on Netflix called The Worst Ex Ever or something like that. And you look at these women and they cry and they complain. And I think I might have only seen the first 2 episodes, right? And you don't want to condone what people are doing to the victims, But you hear the victims talk about what they've gone through, and then you'd be like, why did you even put yourself through that? But yet instead, y'all are getting into relationships. Modern women are getting into relationships with criminals. Literal, and this is not an exaggeration. They're on the books, official criminals. They're felons. Oh, well, I loved him and I just couldn't part ways. The man takes advantage of the woman sexually. And she's, oh, well, you know, I still couldn't leave him. Are you joking? But y'all sit out here and give the good man flack. You want the good man to get down on bended knee and beg you to stay. You should be running it.
This one's for the guys. If you're a female, just keep scrolling. I mean, you can stay if you want, but you'll probably get a little butthurt. If you go on a date with a woman and she automatically starts saying she has standards and then starts to name some of her standards that or expectations that she has for her significant other or man that she's dating, and she immediately goes into, he can't wear Crocs, he can't eat chicken wings, he can't listen to Taylor Swift. You're on a date with a child dressed as a woman in a woman's body. Standards, for those of you that aren't aware, I'm sure there's women in here, are things like you want somebody who communicates with you. You want a God-fearing man. You want a loyal man. Those are standards. Those are qualities that you want in a man. But demanding a man can't wear Crocs is not a standard. That is control and childish. And then you wonder why you get these guys that you label as boys. Do better.
Women love when they get what they want. That's it.
You need
So there's no loyalty. Loyalty doesn't exist.
What I'm trying to say here, and any man who's been to divorce or had problems with women will agree with me and understand exactly what I'm saying. Women are loyal to how they feel. If you make them feel a certain way, then they're loyal to that feeling, which is loyal to you. Women aren't loyal to anything outside of how they feel. Men actually are more loyal than women. Because men, like I said, can suffer gracefully. Women can't. Men will be loyal to a society. Men will be loyal to a race. Men will be loyal to their friends. Women can't even get along for 5 minutes amongst themselves. Men will be best friends for 50 years. Men are loyal. We know loyalty completely. We'll go a ditch for a flag. You want to talk about loyalty? Men are loyal. Women aren't loyal. Women are, how do I feel today? You can take a woman on a private jet to a mansion in Miami and have the best time. She'll tell you how much she loves you. And then the next day when she's mad at you, she will literally say verbatim, you never give me anything. You don't take care of me. You reject me. I'm not looked after. She'll forget 12 hours before where she had the world. Because women are only care about how they feel. They don't even think. They just feel. And what they feel is absolute gospel truth. And it matters more than society. It matters more than everything else. They don't give a shit about World War II. They don't give a shit their grandfathers. They don't give a fuck about England. They don't give a fuck about anything. Because they only care about how they feel. Whereas a man might sit and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to suffer for the greater good of my race, my nation, my ideals. So men are loyal. Women love when they get what they want. That's it.
You need.
You know, modern women, a lot of them thrive on what's out there. I'm doing it for the plot. What's next? But, you know, unless there's a little bit more uncertainty, especially in dating, men don't really thrive off of that same thing. And so, you know, when you run into the same thing over and over again and it gets expensive, then for a lot of men, that curiosity stops. I'm not really curious anymore about it because I already know what's going to happen. I already know what's going to happen. So I'm not really curious anymore. I'm more so tired. I'm more so frustrated. I'm more so upset. I'm no longer excited at the potential to meet somebody because for, you know, going out with these modern women, it ends poorly. So I'm at that point in time, a lot of men just check out. They just go their separate ways. I'm just going to keep on doing my thing. Don't worry about me.
Let's go! 3, 2, 1, go! Hey! Hey! Hey!
just want to make sure I'm understanding this right. So you believe that you deserve the world, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong at all with that. But I just have one question. You say that you deserve the world, and your justification for that is you have all of these men in your life who buy you Uber Eats and take you out on dates and Uber Blacks, and they just provide everything to you. So you feel a sense of privilege. I should be taken care of because all of these men are willing to take care of me. And yet you're not dating a single one of them. Why? No. Don't leave. Don't leave the conversation because you know you don't have an answer. Well, you actually know the answer, you just don't want to say it, right? It's because you have expectations of what a man should be. My man has to look like this, and he has to make this amount, and he has to have a home like this, and you want a man like that to treat you like the simps do when they're not going to, because the reason they have everything in life is because they didn't simp over women. If you have multiple men in your life that provide you whatever you want whenever you ask, then you should date those men. You shouldn't be saying, this is what I expect out of my man, because you'd get that out of your man if you dated the men that already did it for you.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Would you learn how to play basketball from a football coach?
I guess not.
Would you learn how to play basketball from a football coach?
No.
If you want to learn how to cook, who would you want to teach you?
A chef.
If you want to learn how to drive a car, who you want to teach you?
A driver?
If you want to learn how to fly a plane, who gonna teach you?
A pilot?
How are y'all learning how to be wives and your mother wasn't a wife? You just said if you want to learn to fly a plane, you're gonna go to a pilot. You want to learn how to cook, you're gonna go to a chef. Women don't know what's intrinsically important to a man. They don't know how to be a wife because their mothers wasn't wives. In general, women are raising their daughters to be single mothers because they are single. They're single mother, and they like, I'm gonna teach you how to be strong. And my mama told me I don't need no man. And this is, they have raised you to be a single woman.
That's terrible.
And go be educated, so you don't need to depend on no man. And get you an education and go to college. They have groomed you to be a single mother. But if you want to be a wife, you have to learn how to be a wife from a wife, the same way you will learn how to cook from a chef. Then once you surround yourself with other wives, then you will know what's intrinsically important to a man. A lot of y'all women ain't even wives. And you married.
And another thing that you also have to think about is, you know, when you want a man to yearn, you want a man to, I understand you probably want that man to really show you that he likes you. But I don't see it as him like simping for me. And if that is simping, then that's what I want. I want a man to really like me. I want a man to really show that he likes me. There's other ways that that man can show that he likes you versus him getting down on both knees, crying and snotting, licking all over your feet, sucking all over your toes and all that nonsense. There's other ways that he can do that. But that's what modern women want. They read that type of stuff in books. They look at that type of stuff on TV, and that's what they want. And men are realizing at some point in time, you're going to think because I yearned and I begged for you that you're in a higher and a better position. Well, you know, I can leave you. I don't need you. You can't leave me. No, I did that thinking that you would understand how much I really want you in my life. But now that you're going to throw that in my face, I think I'll get to packing. I'll be out by the night.
Men shouldn't date broke women. Men shouldn't date broke women because what does broke people do? They bring chaos. They bring confusion. They bring anger. They bring jealousy. And they bring entitlement. If you're dating somebody who's broke, how would you ever make more money? How would you ever grow past that ceiling? How would you ever leave your comfort zone? That's why men shouldn't date broke women and women shouldn't date broke men. Because if you're broke, that's a reflection of your character. If you're broke, that's a reflection of your ambition. That's a reflection of your laziness, because we all have the same 24 hours. It's so many ways to get money. It's so many ways to get money. So people should have that standard of not dating broke people, not because you're being money hungry, you want to take their money, but you looking at this person's character. So if you're dating somebody with that type of mindset and with that type of finances to show for it, that says everything. I was broke before. My whole family was broke before. But my character, my willpower, my discipline made me get up every single day and find different ways to make money. I was doing hair. I was selling chips and candy at school. Then I started a digital business. Now I'm 21. I made it over $1 million. And I was broke before. But my character pulled me out of that situation and made something out of nothing. Right? And then I teach people how to not be broke. I teach people how to create digital offers and sell online. So like when they post and get likes and views and comments, people gonna buy their stuff. I'll tell you about that in the caption. But I'm just saying that to say, you have a chance to make money. So don't get offended by this. You have a chance. You have a chance to make money. But when you're dating, don't date broke people. Period.
You know, a lot of these modern women, they want men to approach, but they want to tell men how to approach, right? And to a degree that makes sense. Right. Well, obviously don't approach me, you know, in certain places, like at night during the park, like at, in a dark parking lot, or, you know, don't come up and call me baby. Like, I don't know you. I'm not your baby. Makes sense. Right. But modern women have a way that they want men to approach, and you have to have it. It's one thing to say, okay, I don't want a man to call me baby because, you know, I don't know you. But then there's also, oh, I want him to be in a black suit, wearing some Louis Vuitton, I don't know, flip-flops, have a buzz cut, look like, I don't know, Matt, whoever, you get it. There's one thing to say, I don't want him disrespecting me, versus, oh, he got to come up like to me like this with a glass in his hand, and you don't get approached. Because if a man doesn't look a certain way, if he doesn't talk in a certain manner, right, then you disrespect him. And so men watch that, men see that, and then they're like, no,